Sweet potatoes is a great crop that would be worth your time in growing. They're highly nutritious, they store well, they're very versatile, they're delicious, and they're easy to grow. Hi, I'm Annette and welcome to Kitchen Garden Farmhouse. If you have not subscribed already, I invite you to take a moment to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you'll be alerted every time I upload a new video. Thank you, it's greatly appreciated. Today is all about sweet potatoes. Let's get started. Here's my sweet potato vines. I started these back in February of this year. It is now April the 5th and they are looking beautiful, but it's really time for me to move on to the next step. If you have not ever grown sweet potatoes, I'm going to go over a few simple steps with you to get started. It is so easy, you'll be amazed. To get started, get a container of some sort. It does not have to be deep. It can be something like a nursery pot, or it can even be something out of your kitchen. This right here is just an aluminum pan. You see how shallow it is. As long as the sweet potato can fit inside of it and you can cover it with soil, it would be fine. Some people, they cover it halfway. I do not. I cover mine all the way up, and that has worked well with me. So you're going to fill your container of your choice up with soil, and then if you like, put a little bit of organic fertilizer in there and just sprinkle it around and just mix it right here on the top 1 or 2 inches of the soil. And next you're going to take your sweet potato. Now this container here will only hold maybe about 2, but just for example's sake, I'm going to put just 1 in here, and you put your sweet potato in there, cover it up, and then water it well because it needs to be moist, right, for it to sprout. So we're going to water it very well. And also what I like to do is I like to pre-moisten my soil a lot of times before I even put it in the containers. And then just make sure it's covered and put this in a warm place because sweet potatoes does not like to be cold at all, and they'll have a hard time sprouting if they're cold. So whether you put them on a heating mat or some other source of heat, put it where they're going to be warm and that potato will sprout. So this sweet potato vine here, I clipped it from the ones that I'm going to be working with today, and when I clipped it, it had absolutely no roots on it at all. And so I clipped it, put it in a cup of water, made sure the water was changed out every day or so, and within a couple of days the vine started to grow roots along the nodes. And this is about a week later, and you can see how beautiful the roots are. And this one here, sweet potato slip, is ready to plant. And also you can see the new leaves that were sprouting while I had it in the cup of water. So at this phase, there's a couple of things that we can do. I'm going to recommend to clip them. We'll have more slips. In the past, is I would just pull them up from the potato and there would be roots down there that I could use. However, I'm going to use these vines so none will go to waste. So what we do is you can see where the nodes come out, and we want to go below a node. The more nodes you have, the more chances of roots to grow. So this right here is about 1, 2, 3, at least 3 good nodes. So I would just clip it here, and this is going to go in some water. So I would just go through here and just clip off as many as I need to start rooting so they can get ready to go into the ground. So 1, 2, 3, and just clip it. So as you clip your vines off, you're going to just come down here and then just clip all of this right at the node. See, I will leave a little bit there on the node because we want this to grow into roots. And just clip this off like this. So on this little vine here, I have 2 nodes for sure that's going to grow roots. And I'm going to leave this one here because it only leaves me this leaf and this little leaf here for photosynthesis. So after you prepare your vine here, just put it in some water. You want to make sure the cup or the jar or the bottle, whatever you're going to be using, is deep enough that those nodes are completely covered with water so those roots can start growing. And then after a couple of days, you'll see it'll start rooting, and just make sure that the water's changed out every couple of days so it won't become stagnant. Then in about a week, you'll have some beautiful roots like this. And once they get to this stage here, they are ready to be planted. So we're going to go to that next step. So now it's planting time. So you'll have to figure out where are you going to plant your sweet potato slips. They can go in the ground, or they can go in containers of any sort, whether they're plastic, cardboard boxes, raised beds, grow bags, you name it, it's out there, and we have many different options. But if you're going to plant your sweet potato slips in a container, I would recommend for it to be no less than 12 inches deep. This one here is 12 inches deep, and it's about 14 inches across. But the beautiful thing about containers is that it gives us new opportunities to grow food in small spaces. And if you have problems with moles or gophers or armadillos, maybe containers will be right for you, because you can get them up off the ground away from those critters. Now let's go over what fertilizers to use. There are so many to choose from. One product that I like to use is Dr. Earth's organic fertilizers. This one here is made for tomatoes, vegetables, and herbs. Basically, it's an all-purpose, all-around fertilizer. The reason why I like to use it for sweet potatoes is because on the NPK, the nitrogen is 4, so it's lower. We don't want to use a fertilizer that's high in nitrogen for our sweet potatoes, because we're trying to encourage root growth, not so much on the top vine growth. However, even with that, we're going to get a lot of vine growth as it is. So what I have here is 1/8 of a cup for 1 square foot. And this is according to directions. So I would just sprinkle that in. Then according to directions, I would use about 1 teaspoon of bone meal per square foot. And then just sprinkle that in. And I'm just going to mix it right here on top, not too deep, the first couple inches. Because as it gets watered, that fertilizer is going to sink down into the soil. Next, I like to get a stick or a long screwdriver, something that you can use to make a hole for your slips. And I just want to go down as far as I can go, according to how long the slip is, because we want to plant this all the way up until we get to this section here where the leaf starts to grow. So all of this right here needs to be planted. Some of your sweet potato slips are going to be longer than others. So you want to plant it as deep as you can. And this one here is going to get planted all the way up here until it starts to go off into the leaves. So all of this right here gets planted into the soil. And I'm going to put a little bit of water down in there to give it a jump start. Put my sweet potato slip in there. And then press it down, making sure all the air gaps are taken out. So this sweet potato slip is well on its way of growing some delicious sweet potatoes. And so all we need to do now is just make sure it's kept watered so it can continue to root, and keep it in a warm, sunny location, and then just wait. Anywhere from 90 to 120 days. So as time goes on, the Lord willing, I'll bring you back and show you how it looks and what care should be taken, if any, as time goes on. I have harvested all of my sweet potato vines, and now they are sprouting to go into slips. I have a couple left here. I'm going to let them just grow, do whatever they want to. At this point, I have plenty for my garden for this spring. You want to put them in water immediately, because once you cut them, they will start to wilt very quickly. So a lot of these are long, and I needed something deeper to have them to sprout, because you can see how long they are. So I need the water to come up over all of these little nodes here so they can go into roots. So I got this tea pitcher here, and this is a great depth here to start them on their rooting. And just keep them warm and keep them somewhere where they'll get some light, because the leaves need to continue to photosynthesize. Now, these are the trimmings from the vines that I did not use. These here do not have any nose on them. Can you plant these and they root? Maybe, I don't know. If you know, please leave me a comment below. I have never tried planting these. I've always just done the ones with the nose on them and got good results. However, the leaves of sweet potatoes are edible. A lot of people, they'll stir fry them like they would spinach or something like that. I have never eaten sweet potato leaves. Maybe one day I'll try it. But meanwhile, I do not let these go to waste. These all will provide a good nitrogen source for my compost pile, of which I'm diligently working on right now, trying to get it where it needs to be, so in the months to come I can have some wonderful homemade compost for my garden. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed, please take a moment to subscribe and ring the notification bell to be alerted every time I upload a new video. And when you leave a comment and give a thumbs up, it helps the channel to grow. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.